Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Switch It Up Show. My name is Glenn, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Seth Trav.
How we doing today, my guy?
I'm doing well, my man. I have the energy of the Switch pumping through my veins.
That you do.
Yes, sir. And I need it because we have not one, but two reviews to talk about here on the episode. But without further ado, before we get to the review, let me turn on some music for you. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Anamanaguchi, per usual, coming in hot. Music's loud. Hopefully you're enjoying it in your car. I hope you're safe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Our first title right here is going to be Hyperbrawl Tournament. Now, this is available across so many platforms. It's on iOS, it's on PS4, which is where I checked it out, and it's, of course, on the Nintendo eShop. Hyperbrawl Tournament available now for $24.99. Now, that is the price on the eShop, and it, of course, is eligible for 125 gold coins when you make a purchase. Let me go ahead and hit you with a little bit of the synopsis and sit back and relax because this one is a little long. Smash, brawl, and score become a Hyperbrawl legend. The universe's greatest heroes have gathered to compete in a showdown for the ages. The legendary Hyperbrawl Tournament, armed with unique weapons and a thirst for glory, take to battle-tested arenas in this 1 to 4 player arcade-style sports brawler played locally or online. Master the Hyper Curve. Only the universe's elite champions can summon this incredible skill. The Hyper Curve lets you seize control of the ball mid-flight to magically maneuver it around the opposition and obstacles to score legendary goals that could only happen in Hyperbrawl. I don't know who wrote this. I love a run-on sentence, but this is insane. That was like 2 paragraphs. There's no punctuation.
No comma.
Nothing.
Is it all caps?
It might as well be.
Is this a Biff Music tweet?
Yeah, that's it. Channel the Hyperforce. The fabled Hyperforce runs through your very DNA. Channel it to launch the game-changing attacks that you can literally see your enemies shot out of the arena with devastating power. Heroes assemble. Already fabled heroes of their own worlds, these competitors are drawn across the furthest realms in order to compete in the Hyperbrawl Tournament. Choose from 12 heroes in 3 classes and load them out with lethal weaponry combos and paint their armor for victory. 2 more. Malevolent arenas. Travel to the vast expanse of time and space to Hyperbrawl arenas from the home planets of the heroes themselves. Take Chrome City's elevated stadium with its cyberpunk stylings, the ancient stadium of Steelhenge, or the demonic cult of Azeroth. Each arena is laden with perilous obstacles and traps that layer more challenges and unpredictability into each and every game. Let the battle commence. Take on the campaign mode and begin your ascent to becoming a legend in the Galaxy League, where you will face off every hero in the tournament. Then go for more acolytes in the Cosmic Cup, or plunge into the multiplayer madness that is Blitz mode, competing with players from around the world to become the ultimate Hyperbrawl champion and forge your legend across the stars. Oh my god. It's so long. $24.99 from our awesome friends at Milky Tea Studios. Much calmer than this long thing.
I did not expect that.
No.
I expected Mountain Dew veins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Studio.
That's right, my man. Let me tell you, if you like that level of action, then you are gonna be in love with Hyperbrawl Tournament. I guess probably the best way to explain this is kind of like if you were playing, I guess it's like if NFL Blitz was soccer, but it was in the octagon. You have a goal on either side of this octagon, and of course your goal is to get the ball into the net. Although it's not really so much a net as it is like a flat like panel. And all the graphics in this are like super hyper neon and like futuristic. Vaporwave is your aesthetic that you would say. You're passing the ball from player to player. You can knock down and tackle people. You have all types of cool weapons that you can use in order to help you, in your quest to score, to knock players down, to knock them out of the arena, to get your hands on the ball so that you can use that cool hypercurve ability to allow you to throw the ball into the net. You can do that directly, or with the ability, you can actually control the ball after you actually throw it. So you can kind of move it a little bit throughout time and space. It's a more of a fast-paced type of game. This is also pretty neat because you can play this game like on the couch with somebody, or you can play it online, which I think is super cool. I don't know. I played it on the PlayStation, and I played solo. So I'd be interested in seeing like how many people are playing this game online. The same thing goes with the Switch, as I know a lot of people play games online with the Switch, but it's not nearly as big of like a platform as like, a Steam or a PlayStation Network or Xbox or anything like that. So I'd be curious to see if this is something that like picks up, that people are super into. But I like the gameplay. I like the graphics. They have an announcer who's kind of like NBA Jam style, like, catchphrases that he throws in there. He does say he's on fire. He makes he makes a joke because he's like, he's on fire. No, he's literally on fire. Like if one of the characters is on fire. So he does repeat himself a good amount. You have the ability to shut it off. And it's weird because I still feel like NBA Jam, like the announcer in that repeats itself, but I feel like I have such
you
fun.
Enjoy that more.
Yeah, well, you know what? Because I feel like we were blinded by nostalgia, Mr. Trav. Because I love NBA Jam and played that game like all the time, especially in the arcade. So that's it's up there high for me. But I mean, really, it was like a boom shakalaka. He's on fire from downtown and can't buy a bucket. That's pretty much all you got.
Those are the stocks.
So same things, same type of thing going on here. So I'm not gonna fault it for that. But the gameplay is fun. The graphics are good. It's different, which is neat for a sports game, and it goes pretty quick. I also think the fact that it has a season mode is really cool. Like a lot of games like this don't have that type of thing. So the fact that you have the ability to take a team and play throughout a season, that's fun. So I like Hyperbrawl Tournament. I don't necessarily know if it needs to be $25. I feel like that's pretty expensive. I feel like if it was like $10, it'd be like a no-brainer. But $25, that's a little bit up there on the expensive scale. Especially considering all the other games that are multiplayer that it's up against. The Destiny expansion is how much? You just buy it.
Oh my god, I spent $70.
You spent $70. So I mean, I guess maybe that's not the best argument, but you're gonna get hundreds of hours out of that content. Will you get hundreds of hours out of Hyperbrawl Tournament? Can you handle that action? Let us know over on Twitter at SwitchITUP Show. Tell us what you think about Hyperbrawl Tournament. As for me, I'm gonna go ahead and give Hyperbrawl Tournament a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good, man. Still too expensive.
Uh,
Go ahead, hit me with your probably much more toned down review.
Oh my god, this game is like the polar opposite. I could probably describe it as almost like a living live, laugh, love like image. The name of the game is The Red Lantern. It's $24.99. And you get 125 gold coins when you purchase it digitally. It is available now. Choose wisely, live wildly. The Red Lantern is a story-driven roguelite survival game where you and your team of 5 sled dogs lost in the wilderness must navigate the ever-changing encounters of the Alaskan bush to find your way home. It features a dynamic world that changes as you play, nearly 100 different encounters, each with varied results. Gain items and upgrades as you discover things about the world around you. And 8 different pups to add to your team, each with their own personalities. It's from our friends over at Timberline Studio, and it is available now. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's a bit like a live, laugh, love personified. Basically, the premise of the game is that you are a young lady who was a doctor. She's tired of that life, and she's shaking it off by heading out to Alaska, and she wants to run the Iditarod, essentially. So she goes with her puppy, the one she already has, and they go to look at, I believe it's 9 different dogs, and you get to meet all of them and pick which ones you think are going to be best for the treacherous journey ahead. You start the game by you're just driving in the snow, talking to your dog, looking over at your dog. Then you get like set off just in the wilderness away from your van, and you head out. And then from there, you're basically on like a rail where your run, it just runs you forward. You can choose to go like left or right here or there. But as you run along these paths, you see a map and where you are on it and sort of the dangers that could occur for you. It's a little upsetting to me that you couldn't just like sort of open world go. I thought that would have been cool, but what I didn't expect was that the game is very much designed sort of like a Groundhog Day, where you will continue to die, or your dogs will continue to die, and you'll just wake up driving your van, and this chick is just like, oh, wow, what a weird dream. And I'm like, you're driving a car in the snow full of dogs. You should not just be this casual about that. Basically, as you go and you experience and you travel, you start writing things down in this journal that you can look at. And it tells you what you start with, like certain provisions, like ammo, food, things like that. And from there, every time you die and you come back, you have this sort of perception that, oh, that was a weird dream. I should probably pack more food. And then you start with like 2 more food and 1 more bullet. And then that makes the journey a little bit easier. If you're going to go down that same path, you may choose to go somewhere else. That way you can learn a little bit more, figure out some other things. It's also kind of interesting that as you go, you continue to build this bond with your dogs. A lot like the new Pokemon game, you can kind of just set up camp wherever you want. And there you can interact with your dogs. I usually just go out, you feed them, and then I kind of go around and pet them. And then you take a nap, and then you get back up and you head out. It was interesting. I was surprised by it. The music is great. Graphically, I think it's super, super good. Overall, it's a little like, to me, I'm like, it's a little full of itself, I would say, just because it's a lot of that. Like, I'm not a hopeful guy. Like, really, like I can't go off to Alaska and run with puppies. That would be crazy. I would be on the murder horn, the tip top, and I guarantee you a postman would find me and hand me a single letter, and it would say, your direct debit has been posted for your student loan. I don't have this luxury, people. So to me, I was a little like, oh, nuts to this. But overall, the experience was good. If you're looking for a nice, hopeful game, one that's going to make you feel pretty good, give you a little bit of a sense of like, maybe I can go learn a couple things and enjoy petting puppies, then the Red Lantern is going to light the way for you. And that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 5.
That's a pretty good score, my man, despite the fact that you're angry at the like happiness of others.
Bro, I can't stand that live, laugh, love stuff. Yeah, I can't, because it's all just, to me, it's so hollow, and it's just so like, I preach positivity. Not that I don't want you to be positive, but like, give me a break.
You're like, I don't want you to be positive, but keep it away from me. But ladies and gentlemen, if not for Mr. Travs, not for his sake, for my sake, share some of that positivity with a really top tier 5-star review, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, the Amazon podcast section, Google Play, Overcast, wherever you listen to the show. I need your help to let the people know. The more reviews you leave, the higher score that you give us, the more people can enjoy the show along with you. We see the numbers. I see you out there all over the world, and I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, if things ever get boring, you can always switch it up.